I thought a little bit of Christmas music might be nice. I think this is from Mario Kart Sherbert Land. Ooh, hopefully my coughing isn't too loud. I'm seeing it now on OBS and it's screaming at me that it's too loud. I only have a slight cough, so it shouldn't be too bad, and we should be alright for the stream. Yeah, we'll get started in just a minute or two here. As the title says, we're doing Animal Crossing, which we've done once before, but we only did the intro cinematic. For this one, I'd like to just hang out at Tom Nook's shop and just corrupt that area. And yeah, we'll be ready in just about a minute. Okay, I think we're ready to get started here. I'm gonna turn that down. I'll leave the music in the background though, it's nice. So we're using the real-time corruptor today. No, I'm sorry, we're using the Windows Glitch Harvester today for some GameCube corruptions, since it is Animal Crossing for the GameCube. There's a couple screens that are all around me, and I'll explain what all these do, minus the raccoons, because that's a trade secret. Off to the far left, that way. We have a couple windows that deal with actual corruption, and then down below we have the emulation, and I'm up here. So I'll explain at least what those windows do in just a moment. But let's get started with the emulation. Yeah, I can pause this now. And we'll just go through the intro and all that. Name the city, name ourselves. Little KK slider. A little wisdom from, who's the maker of Animal Crossing? Should I voice this? No, he's voicing it already. I don't have to worry about it. I might as well. So you're moving out. You can do what you want, when you want, where you want. Yeah, living on your own, being free, it feels great. But living by yourself can be a real drag too. Still, if you got some real tight friends somewhere nearby, then you know it'll all work out. It was the maker, I forget his name, it's slipping me, I just tried to Google it. I believe it was Animal Crossing was made around the time that the maker, I gotta find out the maker's name because I keep referencing it. Animal Crossing creator. Because I feel like I'm gonna butcher his name if I try to guess it. I don't know which one it was. It might have been, was it Shigeru Miyamoto? I don't know who it was. Anyway, the creator of it was experiencing some trouble back when he went into his work life, being away from friends and family, so that was around the time he created Animal Crossing. Look up the history on that, it's a cool history. Oh, I guess I'm kind of rambling, my bad. So are you ready to hop on that train and go for a ride? I'm ready to go. I almost forgot. You'll enjoy your time in the world of Animal Crossing more if you get some friends to come here too. Well, I don't have any of those. Yeah, it'd be really cool if a lot of your friends came to visit your town. Later. I love KK Slider. So this was the scene we actually had corrupted before, where... I forget this guy's name too. Rover. We kept corrupting Rover and what he would do when he came up and talked to you. Is it 11:42? It's close enough. We'll call it 11:42. Hey, thanks, you're too kind. And we're just gonna skip through all this. He's gonna ask for a certain name, which we're just gonna do Tech. That's an odd name. It's cool because I'm a boy. And it's in the name of the destination. Let's do Crash. Because that's what we're probably going to be doing a lot of. You going to Crash? Yeah, it's one of my favorite vacation spots, man. I forgot what I said there. Oh, it's the old Nook. We're gonna be seeing a lot of Nook tonight because that's specifically what we're gonna be corrupting. This kid's name is Tech. You miss me? There we go. Crash. Oh, I thought it actually said, like we crashed, like an onomatopoeia. Now we're arriving at Crash. Welcome to Crash. Watch your step. Be geek. Excuse me. Hey, hey. Hey, you there. Yes, you. I love Tom Nook. Even though he's a tanuki. He's not a raccoon, but it's still very cool. Would you name me Tech? Good, good. I just had a phone call about you. Woo! I'm glad you made it here in time. Meet your train. To meet your train. I'm not afraid. Wait, I'm afraid I'm not in the best shape of my life. But I ramble. My name is Tom Nook. The one and only. I run the store here in town. I'm quite pleased to meet you. Something strikes me as odd, though, my young friend moving to town before settling on a place to live. Why, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. Madness, absolute madness. Don't laugh. And we're just gonna keep going through all this, because I don't want to read all of it. The doors don't have locks. That's great. Between these ones? Shoot. I like the color orange, but not as much as probably color purple. Do they have purple? No. Where are you going? Let's choose orange. Take a good look inside, and please bear in mind that it's a little, how you say, cozy. Just a little. That's good enough for me. I don't know if the interiors are different. Oh, okay. We'll just decide on that one. Makes it a lot easier. I'll tell you what, I'll even throw on the radio. It's here for no extra charge. I can actually sell it. Now that you see, I suppose you'd like a quick rundown of your house, so listen carefully, please. As you can no doubt see, the house doesn't have any furniture in it at all. Yes, quite bare, I'm afraid. Anything you need, you'll have to get it on your own. Obviously, you can't expect me to furnish the place for you. You can do whatever you like with your own stuff, but don't try to mess around with other folks' things. I don't think you can, anyways. Well, not that you can. Beat me to it. Nobody will know if you just know stuff, though. You'll probably want to pop into your neighbor's house to get some ideas for your own interior design. I would. Oh yes, that weird thing over by the door there. That would be your personal gyroid assistant. If visitors stop by and you're not around, this gyro will meet them and greet them. Come on, that's for people that are multiplayer. It tells you about the importance of saving. Otherwise, the Rossi, the miner, I think that's his name. The guy who barks at you for not saving. And that marks the end of my explanation. Did you get all that? Do you perhaps wish to hear it again? No thanks. $19,000 isn't that too bad? Isn't too bad. Not nearly enough. I'm only short a 19th of it. 20th. I haven't played this one in a while. You actually work part-time. Huh. In grade 4. Alright, we'll be right there. At least most people can't miss it. If you have trouble, check the map. Station, yes, I'm heading back there now, so I'll be waiting for you. I'd ask that you be quick about it. Alright, because we just got a house. So we're almost ready to start corrupting. We're gonna actually make the save state at Tom Nook's shop. Cool. Good luck with your part-time job. I will, man. No changing your outfit yet, right? That's later. Oh yeah, we can change our clothes. Alright. Let's use... oh, some kind of effect when we start corrupting. Let's do that. That's good enough. Alright, let's go to Tom Nook's shop. He said it was at A2. Map is which button? We'll figure it out. Hopefully. There it is. Right by the train station. Alright. I'm gonna make a... let's not do a save state quite yet, because I think we have the entire part-time job scene. Work uniform, there we go. It's a great work uniform. $18,000. Oh, that's right, we paid off 1,000. First off, I want to go plant some trees and flowers around my shop. The area around here is too dull, not charming at all. It's just not ideal for the shopping experience. People like shopping in areas that are clean, well kept, so I want you to spruce things up for me. When you're finished, come and tell me yes. Can we... no, yeah, let's finish, like, the mission and wait until there's normal gameplay, because this... if we corrupt this part, it might mess with how things work. At least I'm worried they will. Very well. So, planting. Let's do this. Nice and easy. So just make it a little nicer out there, gave the ground some charming character. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so I won't bother asking how you chose where to play and everything. After all, I'm not the one who will get laughed at when travelers from other villages see your work, I know. Now let's just see here, the little chore was worth, oh, it's called about 80 bells. Quite generous, I know. Oh, and about your wages, I'll just keep them as payment towards the mortgage. Now what should I have you do next? Wait just a moment, something struck me. Tech, you just moved to Crash. But you haven't introduced yourself to all the townsfolk, have you? Well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to give you a break, so why don't you introduce yourself to everyone in town? Go on now. And don't forget to introduce yourself to the mayor, too. That was just in class. You probably find him wandering around the wishing well. I'll see you later. Can we purchase stuff yet? Can't purchase stuff yet, so we shouldn't corrupt again until we have finished the missions. I don't know how long that takes. And I should figure out how to use the map. None of these guys. Yeah, still not entirely sure. I don't know what key it is. Anyway. Just making sure I'm not missing anyone. Rolf the tiger. I'm Rolf. I don't know why, but I've taken a shine to you. Really? Okay, I was gonna say you were so angry at me first. I'll see you around, Rolf. I like that name, Rolf. Ooh, oh, we don't have a spade. How do you do, Savannah? Tech got it, y'all. Oh god. I get the feeling that we're really gonna get along. Okay, good. Is that midnight? Oh, it is. Or at least in the game it is. Bob, you're probably wondering why I'm running around so late at night, aren't you? Do you think you know why? Would you tell me? No, of course not. How could you possibly know? I've been really forgetful lately, and sometimes I just forget where I'm going. I thought you might know. You just got outside your house, man. You know, come to think of it, I forgot to produce myself. Produce? I'm Bob, and I'm always like this, I promise. Yeah, we'll see. Let's make sure I'm not missing anyone. No, I'm good. I should figure out. I'll Google, the controller layout to figure out which button the map key is in just a moment. Aww. Post office mayor won't be here, but I can say hi to this lady. Rude Phyllis. Okay, looking up the controller layout now. So it's X. Open slash close map, select multiple items. I think I have X bound. Let me check in Dolphin. Yeah, I've got X bound. Don't know why that's not opening with anything. Maybe, I think it said something about map station, so I might not actually have a map yet. We'll see. So we're looking for wishing you well in any last residence. Forgot you skipped that kind of made me lose my composure. You want me to be nice to you? That's creepy. That's so creepy. I'll scream. Oh, Hi, you just want to be friends? You're a loony. I must have misunderstood you. Oh well, I'm Frigga, and you are? Tech, was it? Nice to meet you. Oh, that's a lie. Isn't nice at all. I don't know if I like my new friends. I gotta sleep lately. I haven't been able to sleep lately. Yeah, same here. How about you? Wait, come to think of it, we never met, have we? What's your name? Cannoli. Tech, huh? I'm... Anacotti? Anacotti? I don't know how to pronounce that. Be seeing you, Tech. Welcome, please do come in. It's very nice to see you. Yes, by the by, might there be something I can assist you with? Nope. Just thought I had to say hi to you. Cooper. Copper. Not Cooper. Good evening to you. Working late tonight, are we? Well, nothing wrong with burning the midnight oil. How can Officer Cooper be assistance of this hour? Any goings on? Anything lost? Is what I'm curious about. We have 3 currently lost items. Doesn't it give you the lost items? Sparta Vitra? What's going on, the London guy, Sparta? Oh, there's the map I was looking for. Okay. So, we're right next to the well. That's where we're gonna find the mayor. Don't need to see the tailor, probably. We saw Savannah. We saw Frigga. Saw Rolf. We need to meet Cobb. I think that's the last guy, yeah. Just, mayor and Cobb. There's the mayor. Tour timer. Who are you, whippersnapper? Tell me something. What do you respect the most? My grandmother. Well, have you wise old looks inspired respect? You may be young, but you have a keen eye. Tell me, what's your name? Tech. Well, that's nice. It's different. Your parents must be proud. My name is Tour Timer. I happen to be the mayor here in Crash. Yep, we're quite the big job. You seem like a decent sort. Whenever there's a holiday or an event going on in town, why do you come see me? Yeah, Christmas coming up. I'm sure I'll have something interesting to pass on. Yipper, I'm sure they will. Alright, now let's go meet the last guy, who is up here somewhere. Cobb, next to Bob. This is Bob. Too much talking. So I think Bob, he must live on the other side of this river. Or Cobb. The other guy. Is that him? Oh, it is. Cobb. Yawn, I'm so sleepy. Oh, hey, evening. How you doing? My name's Cobb. Listen, I hate to be a jerk, but wandering around alone at night like this, people will think you're a freak. Well, not that I can be friends with a freak. Anyway, see you around, hot dog. Alright. We're nearly done and almost ready to corrupt. I should have done the intro ahead of time, which I thought about, but, hadn't done. Oh, there's another map. Where's Tom Nook? Oh, okay, whatever. So did you meet everyone in town? Quite a motley crew, yes, but a variety and spice of life, you know. If you don't get along with folks here in Crash, you'll never fit in, you understand? But never fear, I have a good feeling about you. Now then, what shall I have you do next? Yes, I need you to deliver some furniture. At last, it's like you're actually working in the shop. Take this furniture to Bob and Anchor B1. Bob, the cat. And don't stop to sniff the roses on the way, go straight there and then come straight back. No, tell me twice. Delivery. That one. Hey, listen, why are you delivering stuff? Oh, you gotta pay for a home. Been there. Why don't I have you? Sounds like you got a lot on your plate. I try to mind my own biz. But if you're still working to pay off your house, you probably haven't bought any furniture yet, huh? Well, hey, I don't need this modern bed anymore. Well, that's nice. Jesus. She just gives away a modern bed. Tell you what, take it as a gift. Not having any furniture in your house must be a major bummer, right? Yeah, I remember what it was like. You know what? You ought to try to pick up some stylish stuff from the pad. Yep. As weird as it sounds, I think this kind of gets fun. I think it's kind of fun getting new furniture. It's like taking a vacation in your house. And moving stuff around is easy. Trust me, I hate the effort. Tells me how to do it. Okay. And straight back to Tom Nook. There we go. Hey Tom. Welcome back, Worker Bee. It looks like you delivered the furniture. Nice work. You did a good job, so I figured that earns you, say, 230 bells. Not bad wages, huh? Now on to your next task. Oh, shoot. What's that? You say it's too difficult to try and find things without a map. Well, that's true. Honestly, kids these days and their constant complaints. Why, when I was a little raccoon, Oh, never mind. I thought he was a tanuki. Maybe they're species raccoon. He doesn't look like this guy. Okay, here's a map. Press the X button to look at it. It should serve your needs just fine. Your next job is to write some copy for a direct mailing. You know, sort of a personal advertisement. I'm going to send it to Rolf, who lives in Anchor somewhere in row B. Rolf is at like the bottom left, I think. It's just a good business. Rolf is a very loyal customer, so this is a notice of a special sale. As you write, I'll just leave it up to you, Tech, but try to make it sound exciting. Oh, and you might want to think about it. Introducing yourself as Tech, who works for me, yes. You can write on the stationery, go to the post office to mail a letter, yes? You'll find the post office in Anchor A2. Now hurry back. Okay, so we have to write a letter. Can I write with my actual keyboard? No, of course not. Choose an addressee. Rolf. No, I can't. Shoot. There is a sale. Bro, dude. Rolf. He's a dog. Dog! There's a sale, dog. There's a special... This one. They like emojis. A lot of emojis helps out. Tom Nook. What's up, Wasabi Tonic? How you doing? Bells. Alright, let's save that. Is this okay? Yep, looks great. Do we have that? Where is that? Oh, it's in letters. Okay. Now we gotta mail it, so let's go to the post office. Which is right over here, right? Yeah. It's a good thing nothing closes. No letter. This one. Send. And let's get up. Send a letter. Good job. It took you longer than I would have liked, so I'll have to dock you a bit. Really? I do like that. How does the 130 bell sound? Sounds fine. But I'm glad you got it done. After all, if you can't even write a letter, you're going to have some problems in this town. Oh yes, well, I haven't actually prepared the next package I need you to deliver. I'm a bit behind. It would be a waste for you to hang around here and wait to help me, so why don't you go help with the other villagers? You may find you can do a little bit better working for them than you can for me, but not much better, yes. Just be sure to come back here after a bit. Can we buy stuff yet? No. Raccoon policy, you see. I'm almost ready to steal a save state. Oh wow, I just saw Animal Crossing Cafe. Never even seen that before. Alright. We're gonna help out other villagers. Let's do that. Let's go talk to Bob. You possibly get your watch back from me. Savannah ought to have it, but I don't know what I trust something like that to. Yeah, so we'll go find out about it. Sure. Okay. And we now have a map. And we're going to see Savannah, which is down at the bottom left. What can I do for y'all? I'm picking up. Oh, cool. Easy doing. Let's run back. And there's Bob. Gives me stationary, that's cool. I'm convinced from now on I'm going to ask for you for help. Cool. Alright. Now let's talk to this guy. Hiya. Don't you think you should be home in bed? What's wrong with you, hot dog? Hey, so what can I do for you? I need to work. Well, really sweet. That would be awesome, hot dog. Awesome. Could you take this watch over to Savannah's pad? Okay. It belongs to Savannah, but must have got left at my place. Oh, that's why she needed to watch in the first place. Alright, I'll handle it. Savannah, her and watches. Still too many. Oop. I got codes for it. Cool. You know, I sure can count on you whenever I need help for furniture, and let's ask if she needs help. Picture book from Bob. Easy. Yep, I'll go get it back. Bob, Savannah, and Cobb all have a pretty close relationship of stealing and borrowing stuff. These guys don't keep talking about how tired they are. I'm actually getting tired too. Which I am. It's getting kind of late here, but... Where'd you go? What's up? Ah, there she is. Asked for delivery and then disappeared. More stationary. Oh yeah. He doesn't need any help. Oh, cool. Okay, I thought he needed something, so nothing from him. Awesome. Easy doing. And lastly... you. Rolf. Oh, and... that's where you find a Pokemon Pikachu. What? It's mine, but of course I borrowed it for some time. I'm sure you know the type. I'll bring it back to you 2 years later. Yada yada. Yeah, we'll take care of it. Annie Cody? That's the person that's to our south, right? Yeah. Alright, let's go take care of that. Oh, I don't have a slingshot yet, sadly. And I'm curious, can we look at that? Pokemon Pikachu. Okay. Yep, no, it's the middle of the night. Well, make me feel bad for streaming late. Delivery. My Pokemon Pikachu is finally back. I guess we really owe you one for this. Thanks, since you helped me out and gave me this. Stationary. That's our third thing, it's stationary. Alright, I think that's everyone. Alright. Talk to Nook. We will help everyone out. Yep. Deliver a nice carpet to Cobb, who is... I know where Cobb is. Down here. Nope, maybe not. Cobb, where is your house? Way up there. There he is. Hope people get up in the morning. Well, I hope I am able to. I gotta work tomorrow morning. Oh, gotta run. Awesome. Hey, are you sure it's okay for you to just hang out and rap with me like this? You're working, hot dog. Oh. Shoot. $580 bells, yeah. And you deliver an axe to Rolf. Rolf, where's he living in? Oh, right next to us, okay. Right down here. It's pretty darn funny. Think so? But, so what's it say? Oh. I said bells, Tom Nook. Oh, just kidding. Okay, good. I actually like saying letters, puts me in a good mood. Why wouldn't... Who wouldn't like a letter? Okay. Right, nice thing for Tom Nook on the bulletin forward by our house. We can do that. Right. Bells. All day. Yes. Since I don't have any more work for you, I'm afraid I have no choice but to let you go. How's the rest of your mortgage? Of course, you still have to pay all of it off. That's how life works, of course. Let me just have a look at your record here. Yes, so far you've worked off a total of 1,400 bells. Not bad. We came with 1,000, so. So you have 17,000 left. Not exactly something to sneeze at. Since there's no more work for you here, you'll have to figure out how to pay for it on your own. Now, how could a youngster go about making some bells? I suppose running errands for the villagers, selling things you no longer need. That should generate some cash flow, I think. If you got stuff to sell, come talk to me. Very fair price. Pay off mortgage at the post office. If you can pay off about 1,000 bells a week, that'll work for me. Otherwise, I'll send for the Raccoon Goons. The Raccoon Goons. That's lovely. Ooh, don't drop my remote. Yes! I'm unemployed. I'm free. That's actually kind of exciting because then we can actually start corrupting, which I wanted to do. Let's go back in the shop. Let's change the first though. So we got this one. I don't like that one. Or we got this one. That's a little bit better. Okay. Let's begin corrupting, which we haven't done any of today. Shoot. Let's make it safe. I didn't think about that. How can I adjust the in-game time? I should have thought about that ahead of time. I think we can do that at the title screen. That was in the DS one. Otherwise, can I adjust it in Dolphin? I forgot. No, Dolphin goes on your system time, I think. So I have to adjust my system time. That's fine. Where do we live? That way. Welcome home, Tech. How may I be of assistance? Save. Yep. Save and quit. Fine by me. Why do I have a mouse doing this? I miss Isabel. Okay, so I can't just adjust the time here. Hopefully I can do it through this guy. About the door, set message, go back. That doesn't really help. No. Well, let's save and quit. And I'll figure out how to adjust my time. Because I would like to corrupt Tom Nook's shop. In the meantime, you can listen to the nice music. Okay. Animal Crossing GameCube changed the time in Animal Crossing. There are two options: the Nintendo GameCube clock or the in-game clock. These are accessed through the in-game options. The ideal option is to change the GameCube's internal time because the in-game clock affects the growth of trees, the way letters are sent, and how the police stations and dump restock with items. That sounded weird. I don't know how to change it in game. So you're ready to go to town right now, and slot A crashed. It's December 12:54. Shall we get started? Before I go, what do you have to do? Other things. Set clock. There we go. He said he opened at 9 a.m., so it's due. So many things were wrong there. December 9th. Why do I keep doing that? $10.57 Sunday, December. Good, good, good. Awesome. M-Tech. Awesome. And we got a letter. From home. My dear Tech, remember the year you fell out of the tree and broke your arm? Mercy, that tree produced so much fruit that year. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The memories. Madre. Let's grab our present, which is hopefully money. The best kind of present. Open. It's an apple. No. I can't do that. I'll sell it. Let's go to Nook shop. Welcome. Do come in, have a look around, feel free to browse, but try not to carouse. We're gonna make a save state unless we want to buy anything here. I don't want to buy that shirt. Save state 1. Okay. I think we are finally ready to corrupt. 49 minutes into the first stream. So, to get started, we are using the Windows Glitch Harvester, which is packaged with the Real-Time Corruptor bundle. If you Google Real-Time Corruptor, you'll be able to find that. And I'm using a modified version of Dolphin on my copy of Animal Crossing and my copy of my GameCube BIOS. All this stuff is mine, except for the Real-Time Corruptor, or the Glitch Harvester. And to begin corrupting, we're going to create a save state, which I've actually already done. And you can see if I load the game over and over and over again, we keep reloading the same point in time. Oh, is that bell always going to go off? It is. Let's wait till after that finishes. There we go. I don't want that to keep ringing over and over again. Now, we're going to start messing with the dials on the left there. So, starting off, intensity is how intense you want the corruption to be, and we'll mess with that and bring it a little bit higher in a second. Second is the starting address. It decides where in the ROM you'd like to begin corrupting. We're going to begin at least towards the beginning. Like 0 would be at the very start of the ROM, and 9 million would be at the end of the ROM. So we're going to go just kind of close to the start. Usually some system functions are at the very beginning, and we don't want to corrupt that specifically. We want to go a little bit past that. Next, the corruption engine, which you're not able to see on screen, I'm using is the vector engine. A little bit safer than Nightmare engine. And I'm using an extended limiter list. Alright, and I'm going to hit blast target here. And we're going to do that a couple times. State belongs to a different game. I got to target that save state that we just created. This one here. And we're going to wait until we see a save state appear in our stash history here. Which we might not get with a 0 intensity. Let's try that a little bit higher. Still might be way too low. There we go. So now we'll see that a couple numbers appeared here in the stash history. And what that is it's still a save state and still the exact same point in time that we had saved previously. However, this has something special applied to it. It has a blast layer on top of it. And a blast layer is just a bunch of memory writes that create some sort of corruption. And we can take a look at specifically what's going on by opening this in our blast editor, which just shows us the blast layer. And in this, we see a little bit of information on this first line. Now what this does, or what this says, is it's describing how the corruption is being created. It's writing to the memory address 202.00865, and it's setting the value at that location in memory with the value C1. Now, we don't know what that previous value used to be, because it doesn't list it here, but that value, for example, could have used to have been 0, and now we're setting C1 instead in hexadecimal. And depending on what that value used to be, this could have dramatic effects. That could be maybe the number of bells that we have, maybe it's the player's location on the map, maybe it's some vector and we're adjusting its location. It could be a whole mess of stuff. But we'll notice if we look at the emulation now, this corruption is actually already applied, but we don't see anything happening on the screen. And that's because these files are gigantic. I mean, this is like a 1.1 gigabyte game, so just corrupting one singular memory address might have zero effect at all. We might never even notice what happened until we've played the game to completion and we looked at every single thing that happened in the game. So instead, we don't rely on one memory address, we rely on a ton of writes, or a ton of memory writes. So instead I'm going to up the intensity. Right now it's at 500. We're going to bring it up to 518,000 and blast the target again. And we'll notice we immediately get a actual corruption, or at least something we can see on the screen. We see Tom Nook just freaking out in the corner. Maybe that has to do with like the top of his head is jumping from one side and it corrects itself and it does it over and over again. I don't know, it's hilarious looking though. And we can open this in our blast editor once again. And now instead of just one memory write, we have a whole ton of them. We actually have 181 memory writes now. Now, corruptions usually are just a single memory write, like interesting ones that you find an effect that you're looking for. Usually it's just one interesting memory write, if that makes sense. For example, if I disable one of these memory writes, like say this one right here, if I double click on it, it will deselect it. And I load the corruption again without that one applied, you'll notice that Tom Nook is still freaking out. And I can go through here and actually disable a bunch of them just at random. Let's disable that. And even with those disabled, he's still freaking out. So a lot of these memory writes aren't necessary to the corruption that we're looking for. We don't need them on the blast layer, and they actually may crash the game later on. They may have detrimental effects. You may not be able to play the game in a normal fashion with all these memory writes applied, because the game might be a little less stable. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's do a very high intensity. That's actually kind of cool looking. Okay, we'll come back to that in a sec. Let's do one that looks awful. Ooh, the sound doesn't sound very good though. Okay, well that actually looks good too. Oh shoot. Let me go back to my example. So there are 181 memory writes and we don't need all of them. We only really need the one that's creating Tom Nook freaking out like that. So what we can do is we can try removing the excess memory writes to just encapsulate that single memory write. And I don't know how many times I'm going to say memory write this stream. But by hitting this randomly disable 50% of these, 50% button, we randomly disable 50% of the memory writes. You can see a bunch of these are now deselected. And we can load the corruption again, and we'll see Tom Nook is still freaking out, as usual. But now we know that the half that we disabled doesn't create the corruption we're looking for. So we can actually remove those from the blast layer by hitting remove disabled. And we went from 181 memory writes down to 91. And we can do that again. However, in this one, you'll notice Tom Nook isn't freaking out, and that's what we want to keep. So the half that we disabled actually contained the corruption we're looking for. So let's invert that on its head. Invert disabled. And now Tom Nook's freaking out again. So we can now remove disabled. We're down to 45. And we can continue in that fashion of sort of guess and checking to see if we have the corruption we're looking for. And you can kind of quickly go through this once you have an idea of what you're looking for. And now, this is what I meant earlier. So we have a single memory write. Just writing to the address 272-8221 and setting the value there to be C2 creates the corruption that we're seeing on screen right now. And what if we want to keep that? We can send it to our stash, which we've seen the stash before. It's the stash history here, and it puts it at the very bottom. And we can throw that singular save state onto our stockpile and call it something. Tom Nook Headbangs. And now that's saved onto a stockpile. And what stockpiles are they're just a culmination of a bunch of memory writes or a bunch of corruptions that someone created, threw into a pile, and then either you or me downloaded and played or used or re-rolled or anything like that, either on stream or off stream. It's just a collection of corruptions. So for example, if I don't know, I was playing the game normal, I'll load a save state, and I selected this corruption within the stockpile, it will now load the corruption I had just created on screen. Now we can do a couple things now that we have a single memory write sort of isolated. If we open this in the blast editor and we remember that we wrote to address 27282, that long one, we set the value C2 to that location. And you might be kind of curious, what happens if we set a different value there? What happens if we set C9 or A3 or any other combination, excuse me, of characters or letters? And normally we could do that manually in the real-time corruptor. We can set any value we want, but unfortunately in the Windows Glitch Harvester we can only set values randomly. So what we can rely on instead is called re-rolling the corruption. And we'll give that a go here. Actually, you'll notice instantly, right here we have a different effect than what we started with. Before he was sort of headbanging, now he's sort of phasing out of existence. And let's open this most recent one in our blast editor. And instead of the value, I think it was C2 before, now it's C48. And writing C48 to memory creates phasing out Tom Nook. And if we wanted to keep that one too, we can send it to the stash, throw it on the stockpile, and call it phasing out, excuse me, Tom Nook. Cool, and now we have our two individual corruptions. Yeah. And that's how we're going to continue for most of the stream, is we're going to create corruptions in that fashion, sort of randomly guessing until we find something we like, narrowing that single thing down to a single memory write, and re-rolling it after the fact to create different corruptions out of that single element. And I'm going to keep re-rolling this a couple times here, see if we get any other effects out of it. That was actually almost better than the headbanging one, but we'll move on since we already got two. Now he's kind of rolling around. And I'm not seeing anything else that's really piquing my interest. They're all pretty funny, but we'll move on so we don't need to throw anything else on the stockpile. I also want to keep this one though. How about, let's keep this one too. Tom Nook does a spin. There we go. Alright, let's clear our history now. So we're going to get rid of all the extra save states that we had in our stash history, and we're going to start completely fresh. I'm going to knock down the intensity because the higher intensity, it takes longer to write all those memory writes out. And now with a low intensity, actually this is a really good chance to talk about this. So if you are sensitive to flashing lights, bright lights, loud sounds, anything of that nature, I recommend not watching the stream just because we do have a lot of flashing lights, and if you're sensitive to having seizures or anything of that nature from flashing lights, loud sounds, any of that, I warn you to be cautious because with corruption streams you're going to get a lot of flashing lights and uncontrollable effects of that nature. So forewarning, we're actually already seeing one down below right now. Be cautious. So I'm actually going to play this one now. And I like this effect, so I'm going to throw it on the stockpile after we sanitize it a bit. So let's begin with that. Sanitizing is actually what we had just begun doing previously when we started knocking out all these excess memory writes. That's called sanitizing your corruption, because you're getting rid of the excess writes and you're just looking for a single component, or maybe a couple components that you're interested in. So we're going to start disabling these again. Gotta pop my arm. There we go. We're going to start doing this again. So, disable half. The corruption we're looking for doesn't exist within this half. Let's look at the other half. It does exist in that half, and we'll continue in that fashion until we're finished. And at some point I'll stop explaining what I'm doing with this sanitizing with the blast editor, because it's kind of repetitive. It's highly important to sanitize your corruptions though, like I was saying, is if you're going to give someone your corruption stockpile and you want them to be able to play it, you don't want them to crash 2 seconds into seeing your effects, because then it's just not interesting. If they want to walk around and look at it for a couple seconds, let them be able to. you need a sanitized corruption for that. Alright, we have a single memory right. We'll throw it on our stash, and we'll call it Tom Nook's Rave. Yep, I spelled that though. Okay. And now let's reroll that corruption. I imagine we're gonna change the intensity. There's a more intense one, but I like our sort of soft one at the moment. I don't think we need a much higher intensity for it. Yeah, I'm happy with our results already, so let's start fresh once again. Blast target. And we'll do this a couple times until we have something that we like looking at. What is this one? So we can still move around. Before sanitizing, I can still re-roll this one, which I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, because it looks like so the screen was cut off. That looks neat. I'm gonna keep that. So let's sanitize this one. We're getting some nice corruptions out of this, and very, like, I don't even know how to phrase it, like smooth ones. You'll notice on this one, specifically, so in this half of the corruption, there's a couple things going on. If you look at the bottom right, those pots are sort of blackened out. The bottom left, the umbrella is sort of not shaded. If we look in the other half, this is actually the one we're looking for, with everything sort of grayed out and non-textured. So by removing this half, we're going to remove those corruptions that we're seeing now. So the black pots on that side and the red umbrella, those won't exist anymore. Instead, we're only going to keep this effect. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's important for, I would say, more crash-heavy corruptions, or more crash-heavy games, where there's a lot of things going on and a lot of like stretchy models, and almost any corruption you throw at it either crashes it or creates some awful effects. That's when sanitizing it becomes important, and yeah, I guess that's about it. That's when it becomes important. We've been getting pretty lucky with Animal Crossing, though. So we're down to 8 memory writes, 4 memory writes, 2, and 1. So now we have a single memory write. Throw it onto the stash and throw it on the stockpile. We'll call it Animal Crossing Alpha. I like that. And now we can re-roll that effect. I don't know what this will change. It looks like, I can't tell what this is actually changing. Ah, so it's, ooh, it's actually affecting, I would imagine, how large the textures are being drawn on certain objects. Like if you look at the shirt, usually that's just one logo down the middle, but it's now being shrunk down so that you can have multiple textures on the same bottle. That's how I think it's working. And this one, we have a ton of them. Actually, I'm curious if we can go outside too. Thank you, come again. Oh, we can, look at that. Oh, it's snowing too. Alright, let's save this. We'll call it, it's a bug mode, because that's what it reminds me of. Kind of looks like it with all the little lines everywhere. And we'll do a couple more rerolls to see if we see anything else we're interested in. I like the Christmas tree. It's almost Christmas time. I'm not seeing much. I think I'm happy with what we got. So we'll start fresh again. Voice is cracking a little bit. I haven't been using it too much. Ooh, that has a nice sound to it. Let's go back to that. Nothing I want to keep though. Ooh, that was loud at the end. Okay. I have a compressor on the stream, so it sounds much nicer or much lower for you guys, and I have full volume up here. So every once in a while, you might see me wince as the song screams in my ear. Ooh, that sounds nice. More pleasant, at least. Hope it doesn't carry on though. Yeah. So notice we're getting a lot of musical corruptions, and that might have to do with specifically where in the starting address that we're at. Also, I like the sound of this one. Oh wow, we're affecting the dimensions of the room. That's kind of cool. Can we make a tiny room? Didn't look like Clown Vomit. That sound is wonderful. Okay, let's keep this one just for that reason. Keeping this one, I should say sanitizing this one, might be a little tricky because there's multiple corruptions going on. There's at least the visual corruption that we're seeing in the background, and there's also the musical one. That's no matter what too. We may even have more on top of that. So let's try sanitizing it. If we don't get it completely, it's okay with me. Do we also have to wait for the music? We do. Shoot, that's a long wait. At least we can skip it, but... Okay, so for example, the visual corruption is in this half, but the musical corruption is in the other half, and we want to keep both, so we can't remove either of these. So we actually have to re-roll our randomization in order to select another 50%. This has the music, but not the visual, so you have to re-roll again. Visual, but not music. There we go. This has both. This one has both. And I have some patience with this. If you have more than like even 2 memory writes that you're looking for. Whatever it's there. Is it there? It is. If you have even more than 2 memory writes, I wouldn't recommend sanitizing. It's just sometimes not worth it to sit here the entire time. And even with this, you have to listen for a couple seconds. I can really speed up the ROM, but sometimes it's worth just keeping as is, depending on how messed up it is. Like this one, we're just pulling teeth at this point. Down to 8. We can even start manually selecting them at this point. So I'm curious, which one is the music one? Oh, I just forgot. Was it this one? Shoot. Yeah, so it's that one there. And now we're looking for the graphical corruption. There we go. Those 2 are our ones that we're looking for. Alright, that took a while. Let's send it to the stash. And we'll just throw it on the stockpile now. We'll call it Tom Nook's. Looking for a certain word. Yeah, Tom Nook's psychosis is what I was looking for. Okay. Now let's re-roll that. That's kind of nice. Let's actually do this. We're gonna open this one in the Blast Editor and just disable the visuals, because those aren't important right now. Which one's the visuals? That one. And let's just re-roll the music. And you'll notice we're only corrupting that one instrument. The steel drum, I think? Not the steel drum. Whatever that instrument is. That kind of sounds cool too. I can re-enable the old visual corruption, but it's going to be a different visual, sadly, because we're still re-rolling that values, and we can't manually take a corruption and fuse it with another one. Otherwise, I would take the Nook Psychosis visual and I would combine it with this music, but we can't combine both. So I'll put this one on. I'll call it Musical Tom's Spirit Note. Yeah. Works for me. Let's do a fresh one. There's this sort of flashing effect again. There's sort of everything we've seen so far. The texture corruption, the Tom Nook freaking out, and almost a musical corruption. Let's mess with the starting address. We're gonna bring it down to 0. See if we can corrupt some system functions. We might crash. We crashed. Shoot. Let me fix that real quick. So we're doing, there's all the games I've been playing. I can actually quickly do a rundown. Simpsons Hidden Run did not corrupt well. It might have been my copy. This is my personal copy. It was a little scratch. I got it at a yard sale, so might not run that well. This is Legend of Zelda? Which one is this? Wind Waker have corrupted very well. Pikmin, I put some notes on the Discord server about corrupting Pikmin. I don't think it corrupted very well. I don't think I'm gonna corrupt that on stream. Need for Speed Most Wanted, kind of corrupted well. I don't think racing games usually do corrupt well at all, so I'm not gonna bother with that. Lara Croft corrupted extremely well, except my mic broke during stream, so that stream won't come out. I still have the stockpile, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I guess I can replay it once I forget all of them and see if I like the effects. Bully corrupted well, and here's Animal Crossing. And let's switch to... Wow, I have a lot of windows open. I don't even know which window it is. Why do I have so many windows open? Paint on net. Oh, I made new tiles. That's right. I made new tiles for my stream. Down below. I put raccoons in all of them. Because I can. Okay, we're good to go. And now because we have a save state selected, we can actually just skip through. I was going to say even through the intro where it said Nintendo, but we'll skip it from here. I'm going to increase the starting address a little bit because we don't want to crash that much. Let's go actually past where we were before. And yeah, blast target. I kind of like our static shirt. I almost want to keep that. Let's try sanitizing. I don't think we'll be able to get just the shirt, but maybe we can. I did that incorrectly. No, since it's not separating, we cannot just get the shirt, sadly. Oh well. Alright, although I do want to reroll it. What's up to Tom Nook? What's wrong with her face? Can we zoom? No. Look at blink. Yes, what can I help you with? Oh! Yeah! That one. Show me what you got. Oh, and it crashed. I don't know if I'm gonna save that one in a clip, but I'll write Tom Nook blink. I kind of want to save that one. Let's save it. Open the boss editor, try to narrow down. We're gonna narrow down the face and Tom Nook, which is 2 things. Luckily, our intensity is kind of low, so we can run through this quickly. If our intensity was like 4,000, it might take a little bit longer. But we start at 200, luckily. So there we have Tom vibrating, but we don't have Tom's face, so let's keep those 2 together. There we have the face, but not the vibration. There we have neither, so it's in the other half. There we go. We're almost at the point where we can just manually start enabling some of these. Okay, the face one is like not in this top half anywhere. That one is the shaking one. So now we just need to find the face one. One of these are the face ones. It's that one. There we go. There's our 2 effects. Remove disabled, send to the stash, and we'll call it... I didn't think of a name. Shoot. I usually think ahead of time because I take too long to think of names. Let's think of a name. Memsy. Mimsy. Memsy. I think it's pronounced Memsy. Memsy. Okay, let's re-roll that one. So no face, no face. Some face on that one. Is it just our jaw? We look like Pac-Man. Another Memsy. Yeah, nothing else out of that. Alright. Color history. Start fresh. Yeah. $2D Tom Nook, which is kind of cool looking. Let's see if we can keep that one. Hopefully that doesn't go hand in hand with our player freaking out. It might. I also can't tell if he's actually 2D or not. This one has it? Yeah. And, or actually, okay, our movement's actually alright. So it's just a 2D Tom Nook. Send it to the stash. Throw it on the stockpile. 2D Tom Nook. And we can re-roll. I don't know what happened there. Kind of disappeared in the wall. Got like a Skylar Tom Nook. Ooh, is it big Tom Nook? Still talkable? Yeah. Let's call it Giant Nook. That seems like the wrong name, but Giant Nook works. Why not? He's also shaking still, which is hilarious. Can we see inside him? Oh, he's upside down. Oh. I'm seeing mostly the same effect. He's stuck on the Christmas tree. Yeah, let's move on. We got a giant Tom Nook, I'm happy about that. Alright, we're gonna move the starting address a little bit further back. Hopefully start corrupting either the items in the shop or something else. We're gonna want the same effect. Also, the Christmas tree is just not there sometimes. That's an interesting one. A reroll. I kinda like that one. Is that a blue Cosmo bag? Oh, what does the outside look like? Oh. Of course. Well, do we keep this? Yeah, we don't have a lot on the stockpile, so let's keep it. I need to sanitize that a little bit, though. We might be able to just keep the ragdoll effects, which I think would be better. Yeah. I'm gonna call it ragdoll, it's not ragdoll. Alright, single memory right. We'll just call it ragdoll. That's easy enough. Reroll. The intensity of the ragdoll. This one just looks like he had a nervous twitch. Nervous switch. Seeing if there's one animation or any animation that stands out a little bit, but no, they're mostly either their neck twitches out or they twitch out. I think these two are good. Yeah. Let's move on. I need some more water soon. There we have some of the items being affected. Just the visuals of them, though. That's a gelato umbrella. Oh, wait. His neck breaks, or he's so exhausted that his neck does that thing. Let's save that. I think, yeah, there we go. I hope we can get our character back. It might not be the case. Yeah, unfortunately we can't get our character back. It's part of the corruption for him to be gone, but that's alright. Send this to the stash, throw it on the stockpile, and call it Tom breaks his neck. And let's re-roll it. That's why he broke his neck. We're up there. That makes sense. I almost want to keep just this one instead. Or, this one. We'll keep both. Because we are going to have a very small stockpile, I feel like. Reroll a little bit more. Do we get any other kind of effect? Either the player ascends or he doesn't ascend. I like that ascension a little bit better. It's a little bit slower. So we'll erase that other one. Alright, and let's start fresh. Those are his legs. Big Tom Nook again. What was this one? Yeah. Just do it in the corner, Tom Nook. I'm letting him go by moving the camera. I'm so sorry, Tom. Oh, I can bring it back. Oh, but he's right here. Oh, okay. I do not know. We're using the Nightmare engine for a sec there. We should have been doing that. Half the screen is gone. A light burnt out. Ooh, I'm getting tired. I might have to call it an early stream. We're an hour and a half in. No, it's not bad. Let's sanitize it. There we go. Throw it on the stockpile. And we'll call it Diglett impression. Diglett impression. I gotta know how to spell Diglett. There we go. And re-roll. It looks like it makes the floor collidable. Uncollidable. Alright, time to start fresh. Upside down camera. And the player ascends again. You have 0 bells. Big old 0. We got it on the table. Get off the table, that's awful. Like, breaking boundaries over here, look at that. That's kind of neat. Let's keep that. I wonder how that works outside. Curious to test it, if we can get through the doorway. So we have to walk on the table in order to check. Alright, single memory right. Throw it on the stash. We'll call it boundary breaker. And I'll spell boundary. There we go. Boundary breaker, and I will try that outside. Thank you. Yeah, you can literally just walk on everything. That's kind of cool. Huh. Except for rivers. On top of houses are no problem. I like his house. With the N64. Oh, that's awesome. Nintendo symbol and all. That's a red house. Good job, Bob. Remember how sad he used to be that his house, that you couldn't afford his house? Can we walk on trees? No. Mostly on top of houses, it looks like. It could be in the attic. Let's get it just right. There we go. And screenshot. And I closed down Discord. Shoot. Let's open Discord. And I'm going to throw that in the corruptions channel. There we go. That's not how you open doors. I don't like that music as much. I don't know where it's from either. Unfortunately, it's not even a boundary break. It's like a walk on top of things thing. It helps you walk up cliffs too, which is nice. Ah, shoot. Okay. Got caught in text. I'm curious about the post office, let's check that out. Can't interact with this mail. Oh, we can push her around though, which is kind of funny. Push her out of bounds. I like how it resets you, it will drop you from the sky if you walk out of bounds. Just in case you actually do that. And this has sounds associated with it. Neat little things I never knew about. Okay, anyway, we'll move on, I'll stop having fun. Should I label this as a tool? It's not really a tool, but we can still say it. Why not? Oh, he actually walks on top of stuff too. I wonder if it breaks the NPCs as well. It looks like it. Because we pushed that one lady out of the post office. So it must. Can we push him against the wall? Oh, we can! Ha! How about that? And now he can't follow us. Alright. Let's start fresh again. Oh, let's try re-rolling that. I don't think that will have any effect, but... It just won't let us boundary break anymore, actually. Which is kind of funny. Alright. Blast target. This is Diglett, Tom Nook. More ragdoll. I think that's our 0 bells. It's just gigantic. That's pretty neat. Let's increase our starting address once again. Oh, everything in that last one was a little shaded. Let's try re-rolling that. Oh, it looks like it's just lighting. Yeah. Upside down. I don't want to keep an upside down one. It's not too interesting in the end. Maybe a little disorienting. That was a good upside down one though. Let's go back. Shoot. It was one of these. There it is. Just to have a copy of it. Might as well keep it. Alright, we have a single memory write. Throw it on the stash. And from there, throw it on the stockpile. And we'll just call it upside down world. I don't know if it still persists outside. Nope. Does it only persist when we go inside? That's a good question. And it flips. See, still not that interesting of a corruption in the end, but we'll still keep it. We'll call it upside down Nook. Yeah, not too interesting in the end, but still good to look at. And to re-roll it, it's either we're upside down or right side up. Made up my intensity a bit. I said a bit and then I put it 3/4 of the way up. It's down our intensity a bit now. Saw that effect earlier. We may be running out of them. Out of new corruption types. I'm gonna increase the starting address some more. And lower the intensity a bit. And I've gone too far, so now we're not seeing any visuals on screen, so I need to bring it back. Your main data just may be garbage data. Or attributed to something else. Let's go all the way to 0. And do a very low intensity, because we tried that earlier with kind of a high intensity and we crashed. Go a little bit higher. Blue scape. Persist that side. Don't want to keep it though. Reroll. That's kind of cool to see. I like that. It's a tiny shop. Let's sanitize it. It also looks like the sprites are really tiny. Like the top left one should be a Christmas tree. Yeah, the sprites are really tiny. That's adorable. There we go. Single memory write. Throw it on the stash, and we'll call it. Oh, tiny sprites. Oh, it's not really sprites though, because also Tom looks a sprite, isn't he? Let's try going outside. Yeah, we'll call it tiny sprites because everything else is tiny. Treats are tiny. The sections of the map are tiny. Okay, that's awesome. I'm actually kind of happy with this corruption. Look at that! That's adorable! I have no clue what the terrain looks like at all. And I'm trying to guess where I'm going. Let's re-roll this one. Will probably affect the size of these objects. That last one, they were actually upside down. I wonder if that applies outside. Yeah. I like this better than upside down Nook, and I'm actually gonna delete upside down Nook in favor of this one. Because this is great. Animal Crossing in Australia, which is awful to say. That's not really awful. I'm in the States. I'm on the other side. Flip it. Australia. I really hope I spelled that right. And there we go. All the objects are upside down, so if we go outside, even the world upside is upside down. Or at least the zones we're looking at are. And the trees. Not the houses or any of the static objects like that. Even the waterfall. Okay, let's re-roll this again. This one we have tiny sprites again. This might be a little bit more manageable than the tiny sprites we already got. Oh, just too cute though. Let's keep this one instead. Tiny sprites. Just because it looks a little bit better. And we'll delete the other one. Just so tiny. How about, let's keep both. We'll call this minuscule, which I need to know how to spell. Extremely tiny is what Google tells me. And we'll keep them by each other. Oh, unfortunately, I think we lost... Due to a file association, which sometimes happens, you'll see tiny sprites is also our upside down world, so we need to re-roll until we get that one again. Because sometimes one will just be a reference to the other one, so renaming it actually changes both of them, so we'll just find that one again by re-rolling for it. Now we need to re-roll our perfect copy though, this one. This one's actually our upside down one. So we lost our sort of tiny sprite one. Okay, that's fine. This is Animal Crossing in Australia. Okay. And now I'm re-rolling that one a little bit. See if we get a different effect out of it. Ooh, that one's not a bad one. These are all the objects that are in the shop, but they're all meshed together and they're gigantic. And if we go outside, there's all the trees around the area. They're all meshed together and are gigantic. We'll call this... Is there a name for this? I can't think of one. Kinda looks neat though. We'll leave it be. It's just cool to look at. And re-roll a little bit more. There's the tiny sprite set I'm a little more happy with. It's a little more manageable, so I'm going to send that to the stash to remove the file association that we ran into before. And we'll call this one Tiny Sprites. And move this up on the list next to minuscule sprites. So tiny, minuscule, Animal Crossing in Australia. Good to go. Let's make a fresh one now by blasting the target. This one we got some teleporting characters. We got Tiny Nook running away. And we actually got a crash, which we haven't got a lot of today, although we are corrupting very close to the beginning. Starting address. So let's start this up again. There we go. And we'll just jump straight back into it. We had something similar to this one earlier. What we figured out, it was just the player that was rising up, and Tom Nook always matches his eyes towards the character, so he kind of looks like he's breaking his neck. We saved one of those earlier. It was player ascents. This one had a nice music corruption. Kinda sounds nice. I don't think I'm going to keep it though. Let's try re-rolling it. Let's see if it sounds a little bit nicer. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, let's keep this. We'll call it, wah-wah music. It's that wah-wah sound. That's all I can think of. Alright, let's move on. Fresh corruption, blast target. Shoot, that's another crash. Okay, so I'm gonna up my starting address a little bit, just so we don't corrupt system functions as much. So we don't crash as often. And we will corrupt again. There's another crash. Shoot. Okay, starting address a little bit higher, intensity a little bit lower. We see that as we get closer to 0. It's just kind of common. It's not targeting my window. Let's do this. There we go. Shoot. That is like, knock on wood, that's what I should have done earlier, is, I said we haven't crashed in a while. Okay, starting address way up. Intensity a little bit lower. We don't need that low of an intensity, but just to avoid all the crashes. There we go. Now we're back in business again. I see some new viewers. Just a warning, we have had some flashing lights and a couple loud sounds, so if you're sensitive to that type of material, be precautious if you are prone to seizures or any of that sort of stuff. We do have a lot of flashing lights on stream, so just precaution. I'm going too fast. 6 crashes. Going for a record this time. That was not bad. Now let's re-roll that. How can we make something interesting out of this? I don't think we can. It's cool how it's repositioning where the camera is. I kind of like that. I don't know if we can do anything with it though, so we'll leave it be. Go look at them. And I'm just waiting for something to catch my eye. Our starting address is kind of high, so we're not seeing too many, I'm going to call interesting things up here. But I'm doing that just so I don't crash as often. Oh, we're back down to 3 viewers once again, so I don't think it should be a problem if I crash a little more. Ooh, that's not a bad one. Is that that's a player. That's me. There's me. Oh, let's try to get that just right. Also, there's a very loud sound in there, forewarning. I just heard the beginning of that. Oh, I just want to get his face. Woo, that's deafening. There it is. Can't go too far. You try re-rolling it? I don't know if we're gonna get the same effects. No. It's like how far the camera zooms in, it almost looks like. Alright, let's stay with this one. Or, this one. I just want to get your face. Look at me. There we go. No. Oh, okay. Ah, that last one. Oh, but we're like upside down. Ah, okay. That had at the very end. So I get the camera to come back around. Roll the music. Yep, shoot. Clear history. Brand new one. It's hurt my ears too much. That's why I switched to one headphone, is because my ears started hurting from how loud it sounded. This one. It's 2 o'clock. I could get water and stream for another hour. Maybe 3. I gotta work tomorrow. I think we start wrapping it up. That's what I think we do. I gotta stream earlier in the day. I got caught up playing Smash. I didn't stream yesterday because I got caught up playing Smash. Such a bad habit. Gotta get back into the streaming every day thing. I'll be off, I think, 10 o'clock PST. Ooh, cool, I like this one. Tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully stream sometime around then. I'll look for games that I can corrupt at that time. I'll do some preliminary research to make sure I can corrupt something on stream interesting. That's what I did for this one, and I was pretty happy with the results from my preliminary testing. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results on stream too. These aren't too bad. Okay, send it to our stash. And I'm curious if we can see the rolling effect on the world if we go outside. Because I love that effect. It's the coolest camera effect. That must have not been implemented until the one after the sun. I thought that was now. No. Well, it's loaded in chunks, okay. Well, that's not as interesting. I guess Animal Crossing for the DS is the first one where the map is loaded on a cylinder, and so you get that sort of walking over the earth effect as you come and go. It's an awesome looking effect. Unfortunately, you can't see it here because we're just loading tiles instead, so as you go from one tile to the next, it loads the next area and so forth. That's why you don't have such like large latency if you load the entire map, which I don't even think the GameCube would have been able to do, but kind of cool to see it like this. So let's save this one. I'm gonna call it Animal Crossing Pocket, just because the Tom Nook's shop looks like a pocket shop. That's adorable. Look how tiny it is. Let's re-roll it. We're gonna get varying levels of zoom. I think I'm pretty happy with one we already got, actually. You can't zoom out any further because it'd be hard to see, and you can't zoom in any further because then it would just look normal. That one almost has me interested, but I like the original. I like this one. This also looks more square to me than the other one. Yeah, this looks more square. Sticking with it. Clearing history, blasting target. Got the shakes. Ooh. If it kept doing that like zooming effect, I would love to keep this, but it only does it once, sadly. Oh. Otherwise it's just more corrupted music. I'm curious what happens if we mess with the alignment, which is something I have no clue what it does. It doesn't seem to be affecting anything. Okay, back to 1. We can't walk properly in this. I was wondering why Tom Nook was like slumped over and sad in this one. Look at him. Look how sad he looks. Poor Tom. Now he broke his neck. No. Oh, he had such a hard time bringing it back up too. Oh. Alright. I don't want to keep that one, though. Yeah, let's keep this one. Tom Nook, like, give me a little spook. I want his legs to do that thing, though. I absolutely want his legs to do that thing. And I think they're, as long as he's in the corner, he's gonna do that. Yeah. Thank God. It's like I scare him and he puts his legs out. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it is two separate corruptions together. I stand corrected. Just manually enable them until we find that one. It's one of those. This one? It's this one. And then his positioning is this one. I want him to be off in the corner so he like runs at you. There we go. Okay, remove disabled, send it to the stash, throw it on the stockpile, and call it. I don't know, Nook jump scare? Not really jump scare. That's just phrasing. There's a... I like how he grows, it's hilarious. That's why he doesn't grow. There's a really tiny shop. Curious what that looks like outside. Oh, it's also upside down. Huh. And there's our crash. I think I want to call it there, but I do want to do a rundown of all the corruption history created this evening. I think that kind of hard. Just to show them off. And then we'll wrap it up for the night and find someone else. So, starting from the top. Oh, these are nice. Soundproofing. Starting from the top, we have Tom Nook, headbangs. If my video would load. I love my video. There we go. Tom Nook headbangs, which is the very first corruption of the evening, which sort of showed how I go about making corruptions. And we learned about re-rolling, which is the next corruption, phasing out Tom Nook. And those two in culmination began the rest of the corruptions this evening. The third one being Tom Nook does a spin. You can see him spinning there on screen. Then we have, if you're sensitive to flashing lights and bright sounds, this next one you don't want to take a look at. It's Tom Nook's rave. Sort of pulsing effect. His whole shop is a rave. Then we have Animal Crossing Alpha. The alpha version of Animal Crossing. Unreleased by Nintendo. No, all the textures on the objects are slightly... I think they're stretched out, so... That's what I'm guessing. And you only see like maybe a pixel of it, of the actual texture. Then we have debug mode. The exact opposite of that, where the textures are extremely shrunk down, so you can fit many textures onto one object. And that's what we get. It kind of looks like debug mode to me. Then we have Tom Nook's Psychosis, which is a visual effect and also a musical one, if you listen for rates. No. There we go. We didn't get very many music ones today, and yet we had a lot of music corruptions. I should save more of those. They're hard to sanitize once you actually find one, unfortunately. I should save more of them. And there were a couple good ones, too. Anyways, next we have a reroll of that called Tom's Spirit Notes. And it's the same instrument that comes on right now. Yeah. Reminds me of that sort of high-pitched, like, spirit voice note thingy. Next we have Mimsy, which is a really tiny face up in the corner, like on Adult, South Park, not Adult Swim. And also, every NPC, or at least Tom Nook has this, and he shakes, which I thought was funny, so I kept it. Then we have 2D Tom Nook, where Tom Nook is just, I think he's just really extremely small, but he looks like a 2D object on the ground, which I dig. You can see him down there. He follows you around, still you can interact with him and whatnot. We have Giant Nook, the reroll of that, where he's gigantic. We have Ragdoll Physics, or Ragdoll walking animations, I should say, and it's not really Ragdoll either, it's just kind of tweaking out. Followed by Nervous Twitch, another reroll, where every NPC has this sort of nervous jumping around twitch thing. Then we have Tom Breaks His Neck, where he just throws his neck up there and breaks it. Followed by a reroll called Player Sense. With Player Sense this guys, and Tom Nook wonders where he's gonna get all of his debt back from the clouds. Then we have a Diglett impression where the player is stuck in the ground. It's a Diglett impression. It's a working title. Then we have an interesting one that we created called, I call it Boundary Breaker, where all the objects that you can walk on, all the objects that are collidable, I don't actually know the specifics of what makes this corruption happen, but you can walk on top of objects. It also applies to cliffs and player houses, or houses in general, but doesn't apply to stuff like trees and signs, I think, and rocks. So I don't know what the parameters are of this, but it's still kind of interesting that you can walk through stuff and get to areas that you normally can't get to in the game. Next we have Tiny Sprites. All the sprites are tiny, including the shop, background, all the ones on screen, not counting the characters, any of the NPCs or the houses on the outside. However, all the flowers and even the overworld itself is shrunk down, which is kind of interesting looking. Then we have minuscule sprites, even smaller. I just wanted to keep them both because look how tiny that stuff is. It's so tiny. And the overworld is extremely small as well. Then we have Animal Crossing in Australia. Everything's upside down, or at least that's what I think Animal Crossing would be like if I went to Australia. I've never been. No, everything's upside down, which is kind of neat looking. I believe you can still interact with stuff. I forget, can you pick flowers? You should be able to pick flowers, right? Anyway, everything including the overworld and the trees are upside down. Then we have wah wah music. Okay, so we saved 3 music corruptions. That's a decent amount. So some of the instruments are messed up a little bit. I kind of like the sound effects. It sounds like those little, what do they call it? The little, like, gyroids. Is that its name? Gyroid? That doesn't sound right. Anyway. Then we have Animal Crossing Pocket, where the map is way zoomed out, and it looks like if I was playing Animal Crossing on a cell phone. And we can actually see the tiles load in and out as we move around. Kind of neat looking. And the last one of the evening, we have Nook Jump Scare, where if he runs towards you and you interact or touch him, he jumps up in the sky and he has a jump scare. And it will return back to normal if you look away, kind of like Boo. And with that, that is Animal Crossing Tom Nook's Nightmare. Or what do I call this? Tom Nook's Corrupted Dreams. At least Tom Nook's area. We may corrupt Animal Crossing a little bit more. Animal Crossing is fun to corrupt. I should do the DS version, but I need to use the Vinesauce ROM corruptor, which I'm not very experienced in using, or at least creating stockpiles for it. I can create decent stockpiles for the Windows Glitch Harvester. I've gotten good at that. But I'm going to save the stockpile right now. I'm clicking the Save As button as I speak. We're going to call this Animal Crossing Nook, because I already have an Animal Crossing one that exists. And I'm going to hit save a couple times here. To make sure it actually saves. Okay. So after the stream is finished, I will upload the stockpile. I am only backtracked by one right now. The Legends... Tomb Raider Legends. Oh, that's right. I only have one stockpile I haven't uploaded yet, but that stream unfortunately had technical difficulties, so I kind of deleted it. So that one won't show up. But this one's here. And the corruption stockpile will be available on the YouTube archive after this video is uploaded. It's actually streaming on YouTube right now, so the video will be there almost immediately, but I won't update the description until I get around to it. And you have to have some kind of experience with the Windows Glitch Harvester, the program I'm using on the left, and, you know, use Dolphin Nary's mod and have some understanding of how the stuff I'm doing here in order to be able to download it, reroll the corruptions and stuff like that. But yeah, you can download it there. You'll need your own copy of Animal Crossing for the GameCube and your own copy of the GameCube BIOS in order to use it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let's let me find some music here. Oh, I still got music queued up. I'm gonna switch scenes here. And pause the game and play a little bit of Christmas music as we outro here. And we'll find someone to host. I usually take a little too long in finding someone to host, but we'll see if we can. I'll search around in retro a little bit. And I'm usually a little bit biased when I'm finding someone, just because I usually stick around for maybe half an hour to 45 minutes watching whoever I host, so I want to watch something I'm interested in watching. Maybe that's a bad bias. I say that almost every stream, but just in case someone wonders why it takes so long doing it. That is why. I should also probably get rid of the raccoons at the top, but I like the raccoons at the top. I like raccoons. They're adorable. So I'm keeping them up there. Hopefully that doesn't deter people from my stream. I actually seeing on retro there's someone streaming Hit and Run. I tried, whatchamacallit, corrupting Simpsons Hit and Run, and I did some preliminary. And I figured out that really, any Simpsons game, I have had such a hard time corrupting. One I tried doing on stream because I thought there was some good results, but it was just an awful stream. It was like 30 minutes of just no corruptions. I don't know what it is about the devs that make those Simpsons games. I'm sure it's not all the same one, but for some reason every Simpsons game I've tried corrupting hasn't had good results. So I won't be doing Hit and Run on stream. I probably won't be doing... What's the other one? Hit and Run and Road Rage. I probably won't be doing Road Rage either. I tried doing Road Rage for the Game Boy Advance, but that didn't corrupt very well either, so we probably won't be going that route. Let's see, is there anyone doing Dwarf Fortress today? Nope, I see just 2 people in Dwarf Fortress. There's a bot that's pretty interesting if you guys are ever interested in Dwarf Fortress. His name's, I'm gonna butcher the name, but Side-Eyed? There's only 2 people in Dwarf Fortress, so you'll see it's the only one that's actually streaming Dwarf Fortress right now. And it's a bot that's set up that plays Dwarf Fortress, and you have a bunch of in-chat commands that you can use on Twitch to inspect and talk about the various dwarves that are on screen. It's pretty neat. I take too long doing this. At least if anyone was interested in talking, I stick around for maybe 10 minutes and decide on someone to host. Maybe it's because it's so late in the evening. There's not too many people streaming tonight. Let's see, there's usually not, but let me see if there's anyone in corruption. No one in corruption. I'm gonna follow that category because I would like to stream on corruption instead of retro, because I would find people that are specifically interested in corruption, but I've never got even a viewer from corruption. And I've done it maybe 4 or 5 streams I've hopped in there with some bigger games like Bully and whatnot. Not a single viewer dropped in from corruption, so unfortunately it's not that popular of one, although I know Vinesauce Vinny streams in there, so I was hoping I might get some lurkers from that, people that might be interested in corruptions, but no luck, unfortunately. At the end of every one of my streams that I'll upload to YouTube, it's just gonna be 5 minutes of the Please Stand By and music that gets claimed by Nintendo. There's someone doing a SNES challenge, but I always worry about people that are speedrunning. I have utmost respect for speedrunners and they do awesome stuff. I worry about hosting them because I don't want to distract them in any way. Maybe they just have notifications disabled and they don't even look. I worry that I would distract them and mess up the run in one way or another, so I don't bother. I should host ones that just start up, like before they do the runs. Well, I think I'm gonna host my stream team buddy Wasabi Tonic. He's doing some Super Smash right now, and I'm actually gonna play Super Smash with him. I won't be doing it on stream because I don't have an Elgato because they're too expensive. They're not that expensive. Just too expensive for me. So I'll be playing on stream. My name is TechT on Switch, so you'll see me joining them if you're interested in checking them out. Our team, I don't think I've said this too many times on stream, and you actually see a tile card for it down below now. But my team is called Odd Brew, and it's a couple buddies. Myself, Wasabi Tonic, the two of us are regular streamers at the moment, the only two. We got two other guys named Minister Falcor and Not Good. And we've got all Discord together. We're hoping to have some kind of stream team going on. If you're interested in checking any of us out, I mean, we all are friends and hang out, you know. Self-plugs, shameless plug. Anyways, I'll probably stream tomorrow, we'll see. I'll send out a notification if I am. And yeah, thanks for everyone who was able to stop by, and have a good one.